right, welcome to Homeboy's Hood. This is your host, your favorite homeboy, Edward, and I have with me Michael and George, two local Pocono real estate agents. This is the premier channel for real estate short-term rentals in the Poconos. I'm just going to say it for YouTube. Unofficially, because I haven't checked any other channels, but I think I've got the most content on the Poconos. So I'm going to try to. I'm going to keep bragging about that until someone takes over. So it's good to have you two here. We're just here to talk about investing in the Poconos, short-term rentals. I get a lot of that questions about how to invest, what to invest, where to invest, and so I'm really excited for this episode of Homeboy's Hood because I have local Pocono real estate agents here. So this is going to be great. So let's kind of start off just kind of introducing yourself. Tell us kind of a little bit about yourself and your business there, your real estate business.
So my name is Michael Vodarchik. I'm a real estate agent with Keller Williams out of the Stroudsburg office in the Poconos. I've been in real estate coming up on a year now. And in that time, before I even got into it, really started to become interested in the short-term rental market up here, as well as the long-term rental market as well, with multifamily properties in the boroughs of Stroudsburg and East Stroudsburg. So I've been watching those markets pretty carefully. But as I've kind of grown into the career of a real estate agent, I've learned a lot more about short-term rentals and developed a pretty decent amount of connections in the short-term rental world really quickly. And it's been really exciting to learn how they work and help people, make their real estate investment dreams kind of come true and make those goals that they may have a reality. So it's been very exciting for sure. Awesome.
And before we go to George, don't forget to subscribe to this video and like it. Give it a big thumbs up if you're watching. This just tells us that you like content like this. So, all right, George, you go ahead.
All right. My name is George Halim. I'm with Long and Foster Real Estate. I have been in the real estate world for a little over 3 years now. But before that, I used to live in the Poconos for quite a while and moved away when I met my wife and would come back up with her to rent houses.
Okay.
Just for the summer weekends. And, one day we thought, well, why don't we just buy our own and use it ourselves?
Yeah.
And I did. We obviously didn't use it as much. So I figured let's put it on put it online and rent it out for a short-term rental. And it did well.
Wow.
When was this happening there? This was 2016.
Okay. Wow.
And it did well. And I was like, hey, let's do another one. And I picked up another one and, I figured something was going on here. And then I started doing that for quite a bit. And then I ended up getting my real estate license really for myself. And I said, hey, this gives me the ability to go see homes on my own time. And that's when I really got into real estate. And then all of my family and friends, saw me doing the rentals and they wanted to get in on it. So I've been helping out friends and family. And I've also been doing a lot of property management for other short-term rentals owners. So it's I'm in the short-term rental market. I'm in the property management market, and then also doing the real estate now, really all focusing on short-term rentals in certain areas throughout the Poconos.
Awesome. You picked up at a good time there, George, 2016.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. And it wasn't even intentional. That's the thing. We originally got that house thinking, hey, we'll use it every few weekends, have my family and friends use it. And then, obviously we didn't use it as much, right?
Yeah.
So I figured let's put it on and see how it does.
Yeah, that's definitely the beauty of it.
Yeah, I have to say 2016, you're definitely one of the first movers, man, because this market really didn't pick up until years later. But it just shows that Poconos has been a short-term rental market for a long time before Airbnb even became popular.
Yeah. Hey, there's a few people out there that have been doing it for several years before me. I've been kind of keeping an eye on those people, and they've been doing it for years. So Poconos is pretty big. And I went to school up that way too, and we used to always go to the Poconos and spend the summers by the lakes or go skiing.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
How about you, Michael? Are you originally from there too, or when did you move there?
So I was born in Jersey, but I moved here when I was very young, 3 or 4. So
all right.
Been here basically in my entire life. I know the area very well, but definitely becoming an agent in the last year has really widened my the spectrum of areas that I know well now. So I've become very familiar very quickly with just the areas that short-term rentals are really popular in, and places where they're a little slower, and vice versa. So it's been great.
Yeah, we went up there quite a while ago. We had like a reunion with some friends from college because I have a lot of friends and family in New York. And so the Poconos was like the perfect like midpoint. I'm in the DC area. And so, I mean, it's a little closer to them, but it's still a great, center point for us to meet, outside of the city. And I remember, we rented an Airbnb, and it was through a management company. And at the time I was just talking to my friends. I was like, hey guys, we should get one of these. And it may have been like 4, 5, 6 years ago. Right.
Yeah.
And so we kind of looked into it. And a couple of years ago, I was like, okay, guys, I'm serious. I want to pull the trigger. And I think for one reason or another, just the timing wasn't right for them. But I ended up doing it on my own. And I was really nervous about it, just getting my first vacation rental. And it was in Commenting Trails, Albrightsville. So it's a real popular area. I'd say, I guess 1 out of 10 homes there are rentals. And does that sound about right? 1 out of 10?
Give or take.
It might be more now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, from what I hear, there's about 1,000 properties and about 100 of them, 100 plus or something.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but yeah. And it wasn't where I was originally looking. I wanted like Lake Harmony, because to me, that was like the epitome of like, oh, you got to get one there. But my agent said, hey, this one has like a volleyball court, and it's got a lot of bedrooms and a huge game room. So I was like, you know what? It's unique. Let me give it a shot. And, I looked at the numbers from the previous owner. He was doing probably about 80,000 or so gross average. And I was like, hey, that could work for me.
Yeah.
And I ended up blowing those numbers out of the water. I think I told you, right, George?
Yeah.
I was telling George that because, some buyers, they look at their homes and they're looking at the rental history, like, oh, that's maybe too low, right? And then they'll say, oh, I don't want that home. But then what they don't realize is the management.
It's all about how you manage it.
The management is everything. And on a long-term rental, the management isn't everything. It's nothing. It's like the rental rate's the rental rate. But for short-term rentals, and I ended up doubling that amount, that gross. We made like 150 or something. I did a video on that. And so at that point, that's my first year. I was like, all right, this is game on, right? I really helped build my confidence.
What year was that, Edward?
When I bought that, I think I'm in my second year of ownership. So it wasn't that long ago.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely, I have a lot of people come to me and they tell me that Lake Harmony is the spot they want for their short-term rental. And they come to me and I show them what's available up there, and they see the prices and they're not too happy with those price tags. And I kind of bring them back down to earth a little bit and tell them maybe you should look to, diversify it, possibly even pick up 1 or 2 or 3 instead of just the one, by the lake. But they like to stay in that area. I see that that's really popular, the Pocono Lake area, and Arrowhead Lake especially, and the communities near there, up in Pocono Lake. But definitely the marketing of it is what makes it. A lot of people look at that short-term rental history from the previous owner and they automatically assume that's exactly what they're going to make. And I try to tell them, I wish we could see the pictures of the listing on Airbnb before the house was listed. I wish I could look it up. How was it marketed? How was it advertised? Look at the calendars. How filled it is. Exactly. Check the occupancy. What was going on? Because at the end of the day, especially with the market being the way it is now, it seems like everybody wants to pick one up, and it might seem like the market's getting a little saturated. And the first people to drop out are going to be the people with marketing that's subpar, photos that are subpar, listings that are subpar, not priced correctly, or not themed. I see that all these themed Airbnb listings just go through the roof. So
what kind of themes have you seen? Like, what? Tell me about that.
Lake home themes. I saw one Summer of '69 themed.
Oh, that's cool. I think I saw something like that recently on Facebook or something.
Yeah, and they have like a hiker cabin theme, and the decorations all match, and like that's where the real money is, in my opinion. Looking at it from the outside in, it seems like the people that are doing the best in this are people who have really thought about the feeling they want to create in these rentals.
How about you, George? You got any themes on your home?
Not so much themes. I have a few homes with swimming pools. I'm all about amenities. I think,
Okay.
in my opinion, as guests want amenities.
Yeah.
Have a pool or a hot tub or a fire pit or a game room, all those things. On a rainy day, just things for anybody at any age to be able to enjoy the home, regardless of the weather. Regardless of the group they're with, is always a big plus. I've noticed.
Yeah, you got a swimming pool. That's pretty unique. Is that in ground or?
Excuse me.
In-ground pool?
Yeah, in-ground pool.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, they're the popular ones, and especially in the summer, everybody wants a swimming pool.
Where's your home with the pool? Where's that located?
So that one is actually right on the outskirts of the Poconos. It's actually on the New York side, but
wow,
it's right up there by Big Bear Ski Resort in the Massachusetts area. But it's right over the bridge, right along the Delaware River.
Cool.
So it's technically Catskill Mountains. But
oh wow,
literally 1 mile away, and you're already in the Poconos side.
Nice.
So, how far are you from the other ski resorts there? What's the common one there? The Jack Frost Big Boulder. How far is it from there?
That specific one?
Yeah.
That's probably about 45 minutes from that ski resort.
But people say at my house
throughout the area.
They go to Big Bear. I never heard of Big Bear.
Yeah, Big Bear Ski Resort in Mass Hope area. It's not as big, but it's an equally popular ski resort.
Wow.
It's good for like if you have homes in the lake area up north, like Lake Wallenpaupak. That's where I have my 2 other cabin homes. Those are my first ones. It's not too far away from the lake, so it's nice for the winter.
All right, so here's a question for you, and Michael, if you have anything, you can chime in. Lake Wallenpaupak compared to the Lake Harmony proper area, compared to like that Big Bear resort, are they all similar, or how would you rank that?
In terms of what?
In terms of like, if I had $500,000, how much would I be able to expect about the same return in all 3 places, or is there a noticeable difference?
I feel like it could vary just depending on how you market and manage the property. You'll get a lot. Well,
assuming it's all the same.
You'll get a lot more bang for your buck up north. Probably closer to that Big Bear resort. I mean, Lake Harmony is ridiculous right now as far as pricing goes.
Yep.
I'm a little biased. I really like the Lake Wallenpaupak area. I have properties there, and they do all right. And I just love that lake. It's my favorite lake to go to. So that's my vote.
Wow. So how about you, Michael? You have an opinion on that?
Well, George, I'm also actually biased myself because I'm much more frequently in the Pocono Lake area. I was showing homes in Arrowhead and showing homes in Locust Lake Village or Stillwater, driving through Mount Pocono to get to and from. So I'm just a lot more familiar with that area than I would be with Wallenpaupak. So I can't really speak too much on it. I have an agent up there that I work with for the referrals up in that area for Wallenpaupak. So she really handles that. But I would go ahead and say, just like George said, definitely more bang for your buck up north, where the taxes are definitely lower and the prices are definitely lower at the moment. But it does feel like you're a little farther away from the Poconos attractions such as Mount Airy Casino and Kalahari and just all those big tourist attractions that pull a lot of people from the city to come and enjoy as well.
Yeah.
So like, what are we talking about as far as gross revenues for a house like that at Lake Wallenpaupak? Do you have any idea on what you would be able to generate?
Yeah, I mean, it all depends on the house, right? Depends on how many bedrooms. I think your occupancy is going to be key, and your amenities are going to be key. So
for half a million, how many bedrooms can you get? About, I mean, again, these are averages for Lake Wallenpaupak.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say you can probably get a 4-bedroom. If you're lucky, you can find a 5.
Okay.
It's probably average or realistic, I'll say.
What have you seen for revenues for 4 or 5 bedroom?
Yeah, I mean, as far as 4 or 5 bedrooms, I'll say around the 150 mark, 150K gross.
Okay.
And then that's assuming, you have nice amenities and you're marketing it properly.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, you say nice amenities. It's almost like though, like a hot tub and a game room it's almost like standard these days. Like it's like you can't even compete without it almost. It's like everything on top of that is extra.
You'd be surprised how many rentals I see online that don't have it, and they're just, putting the house up, and they're still getting booked, but
with like a Monopoly board game on the table.
Yeah. It's
free water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, see, it's like for $500,000, 4 or 5 bedroom, $150K. I would say those numbers are competitive with Pocono proper. When I say Pocono proper, I'm saying like what Mike was talking about, kind of like proximity to like those typical Pocono places like Mount Airy and the ski resorts there. Like I'd say it's very comparable. You probably can't get as big a house in Lake Harmony for that much, especially these days. But I think the return's going to be similar. Like I paid under $500,000 for my 5 bedroom in Lake Harmony. Of course, that was before the
jump.
The jump. So I don't know. It's probably worth what, 6?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
More? All right. Yeah.
There you go. You selling?
750. You gotta might be interested.
Yeah.
It's so tempting, man.
It is. It's definitely, I mean, you can see some people pick them up in just the last 2 years, and I see a lot of them popping back up on the market now, being advertised as a great short-term rental opportunity. And I checked the tax records, and 2 years ago they picked it up, and they probably had a pretty decent return on it. And for some reason, they're deciding to get out of it and hand it off to somebody else. And it's already an established business at that point. It's pretty good.
Yeah. I have to agree with you, George, though, that see, my mindset is still based off where I bought it, and my mindset's not where the market is now, because I haven't been in the game for like 6 months. Wow. It's like eternity. And so you're right. If $500,000, you can gross 150, that would take like 650 here in the Poconos proper. So you're right. You can save a little bit money.
Yeah.
And that 150, you'd have to you'd have to decide, like, is that premium worth being in the Pocono proper for you personally? Or if it's just strictly investment, go to a Lake Wallenpaupak, right?
Right. Yeah.
Huh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Good info. What about, this might be more for you, Michael, like what about within the Pocono proper area? So now let's kind of break it down a little bit even more. Like, okay, we got Pocono Lake, Arrowhead Lake, Lake Harmony, we got Talmenting Trails. Okay, like if you had 600,000, okay, let's raise it up a little bit because now we're in a more expensive area. Okay, 600,000 or 5 to 600,000. Where are you seeing that has the best returns, or are they all kind of relatively similar?
I would say that they're currently, based off of what I've kind of experienced in the last couple months working with the investors that I have been, what they've been telling me is a pretty similar kind of rate, definitely kind of even out. But it looks like, with 600,000, if you were to come bring 600,000, my question actually would be for both of you as well, because I'm curious myself. Would you be, for 600,000, you could probably secure a lakefront, like an Arrowhead, for maybe like 550, 600, for example. So my question would be, would a 3-bedroom on the lake be able to generate as much as 2 or 3, 4 or 5 streets away from the lake? Because I do have investors coming to me now with that question, and I have difficulty answering it for them sometimes. And I'm curious to hear what you have to say as well in regards to returns on $200,000 properties, 3 $200,000 properties versus 1 $500,000 or $600,000 property.
That's a great question. What do you think, George? You go first.
I sound like a broken record. I'm going to repeat myself again. It's almost irregardless or irrelevant of location, how you market, how you like decorate, and how many amenities you add and how you manage your property, regardless of your location, is going to make or break this business. Whether it's lakefront or not, it's just all about how you do it. You can find the crappiest house on the market that's $200K and completely renovate it and make it, one of the most unique properties, on the short-term rental market in the Poconos, and you'll kill it. Assuming you market it well, decorate it well, and manage it well. So I know that doesn't really answer the question too well, but maybe it does. And maybe it's leaning towards, yes, it can be. Yes, it can perform better. Again, it's just all how you manage it.
I totally agree with you on the management and the design and the marketing is huge. But all things being equal, like if I had the best designer and the best marketer on both homes, and I had to choose between the premium lake home with 3 bedrooms versus the non-premium one with 5 or 6 bedrooms. Personally, I feel like I would go for the non-lake. I feel like it's the premium you pay for the lake
is not worth it.
On the buy side doesn't translate on the rent side.
Yeah.
You can get a premium on the rent side, but
that's only in the summer.
Yeah.
And you're tightening your market. You're tightening your market to people who want to be exactly on the lake compared to the
pay
family.
That premium.
Exactly. Compared to the family that just wants to be there and doesn't mind driving down the road to get to the lake. So I feel like your occupancy would probably also be higher. So that's kind of what my thoughts were as well.
Yeah. I mean, how popular would a lakefront be in the off season from a rental viewpoint?
Ice skating.
Yeah.
So other than that, not much.
Yeah. Your ability to ask for a premium in the winter goes down a tad, right? I mean, it's still nice. It's still like peaceful and quiet.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. My strategy has been 5 and 6, 5 bedroom plus properties because if in a pinch and the market turns, I can treat it. I can price it like a 3 bedroom.
Yep.
And have now offer twice as much space than my competitors. In a pinch, I've never had to do that. Or if I want the weekdays rented and I really want to maximize the heck, because I don't, in the beginning, my mindset was I'm maximizing every single freaking day. But my wife was just like, Edward, this is like a lot. This is almost like too much or just same day turnovers. And so we're like, okay, let's just not push it as hard. So I've kind of took my foot off the gas pedal a little bit. But I know what it's capable of. It's like having a Ferrari driving it at 70 miles an hour. You can like blow it out of the water if you wanted to.
Yeah, it seems like, and as George said earlier when he said sounding like a broken record, all I keep hearing is something that I always tell anybody that comes to me, especially a first-time buyer. I thought this would be interesting to talk about as well. First-time investors looking to pick up their first Airbnb.
Yeah.
I would love to hear your thoughts on some of the things you kind of discuss with them and how you feel them out to see, what their level of motivation is and how much they really understand about it. Because you never want to, start answering questions they already know and giving them answers that they already know. But you also want to feel them out and help them make the best possible decision, especially if it's a first investment. So I wanted to start off with the first thing, like George was saying, the broken record thing. You're getting into the hospitality business is the first thing I tell anybody looking to buy an Airbnb. This is not a long-term rental. This is not let it sit and you come fix the broken water pipe or tighten the toilet every couple of weeks or months even. This is a business you've got to be really hands-off with, especially if you only have one and can't afford to pay somebody else to manage it. So that's the first thing I tell people, and I'd be interested to hear what else you guys say.
I like to see what their, level of interaction, it kind of goes along with what you're saying, Michael, is like, are they looking to manage it themselves or, are they willing to do what it takes to get it up to par, or are they wanting to hand it off? And, I think 2 biggest differentiators is, are you looking for a home inside of a community or outside of a community? And that really differs on how you manage it. There's communities have rules and you got to check guests in, and, gated communities make it even more complicated versus a home that's, on land, no neighbors, no community. It's a different ball game, in my opinion, and different management, I'll say, different level of interaction and registration and all of that, which kind of gets you into the regulations, which we can probably get into that a little bit later, which is a huge topic right now. Just being aware of all that and knowing the do's and don'ts and kind of making them aware of everything that they're about to walk into before we even start talking about what you want in a home.
It's kind of the same. I'm not selling short-term rentals. I'm not in that market, but it's similar to if you're working with a buyer in any hot market, right? It's like, first of all, let me give you the right mindset of an investor, what you're getting into. And then secondly, it's here's the type of competition you could be facing and what you should be prepared to waive into terms of inspections and all your contingencies for financing and appraisal and all that stuff. It's like, let me tell you now, so you're not thinking I'm just trying to make a quick buck. You can learn now, or you can learn after you lose a couple. It's up to you,
Yeah.
right? Let me tell you what people are bidding above asking price. Like that's kind of normal. Okay, so coming with all cash. If you don't have all cash, how are you going to differentiate your offer? So that's definitely like 101, right? Just kind of setting their expectations on that. But I like what you said about also setting expectations on like what locations are going to have maybe more restrictions than others. Because to me, that's still kind of in flux. Are there some areas in the Poconos that are absolute, like I would not recommend you invest there because it's just too strict?
Yeah, so there is the one that really stands out to me is the Lehman Township area, which was extremely popular. When I was younger, I was working at Saw Creek Estates, which is a gated community that offers a ton of different amenities for its homeowners, and was extremely popular back in 2015 and 16 with guests when they still allowed them. So it was, not homeowners only. At the time, I was a lifeguard, and every single day I worked, it was new faces there.
Wow.
So it was a lot. And eventually, not just in Saw Creek, but in the township as a whole, an ordinance was passed. And at this point, there's no short-term rentals. Yeah. So, however, people that do have permits are still grandfathered in. And every now and then a listing comes on the market with that permit on file. And it's
pretty valuable.
Correct. It could actually flip the switch a little bit, and you could be one of the rare ones that is still able to stay standing and do business in the township.
How much, what are price ranges in that area, that neighborhood?
There's currently a listing at, I'll shout it out, 119 Dover Drive in Saw Creek Estates. That's in Bushkill. It's listed at 189, I believe.
Dude,
that is a
very affordable.
Three bedroom. That's a 3-bedroom within the community with a short-term rental permit on file. I do think that it's priced a little higher due to the permit being available. But in general, the prices there inside that community at least have definitely gone up as well.
Get it, George?
So,
yeah.
Any other off limits? Like I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole that would affect your returns. Is it that bad or not?
There's quite a few communities around the Lake Wallenpaupak area that just flat out banned short-term rentals.
Wow.
They just don't allow it anymore at all. So obviously it wouldn't be a good investment at all. And it's not just on the township level, it's also on the community level. So you just have to be careful which communities you pick and do your due diligence before you even waste your time looking into these properties that may not even allow short-term rentals. There's a property I saw the other day for sale, Lake Ariel, which is north side of Lake Wallenpaupak, and the community, the agent's advertising that short-term rentals allowed, and I called the community and tried to ask more information, and they are in fact short-term rental friendly, but I learned that they're charging $100 per day that the home is rented on on short-term rental. $100 per day. So, and she flat out told me they're looking to discourage short-term rentals, yet they allow it. So, I mean, that to me doesn't make sense from an investment standpoint. So again, the point here is you got to do your due diligence.
That's almost like they're a partner in your business, man. It's like, get out of my business. You're making more than me.
Yeah, they should be putting down 50% to purchase it with you at that point. It's that's the biggest thing I also say to everybody. We're not, as real estate agents, to everybody watching, we're not trying to get out of doing our job when you ask if a community is short-term rental friendly. If I send you the number to the township or the HOA, I already called them. I already spoke with them, but I know you need to hear it yourself.
Directly, exactly.
You need to hear it from them directly. And if you're serious about making the right moves to purchase your own investments, you got to hear it directly from them, because they'll tell you something that I might have missed, and they'll let you know about that $100 a day fee. And it's good to know that before you go and purchase one, just because it's advertised as short-term rental friendly. For sure.
Exactly.
Man, that's some good info. Hey guys, before I close this has been awesome. We got to do this again. First of all, I want to end it with your favorite place to invest, and I think I know what George is going to say. But if you're at your next home, or the investor's like, hey man, I want to invest wherever you think is the best place, what would you tell them? I'll give you top two. Make it interesting for George.
I mean, you already know my top one.
Wallenpaupak.
Times. I like venturing out to. If you've heard of the area called Shahola, it's east of the Lake Wallenpaupak area, closer to New York and the Delaware River. I think that's a up and coming area. It's not too much going on there right now, but I have a good feeling about it.
That's good. Lake Wallenpaupak and Shahola, he said.
Yeah.
How do you spell Shahola?
Shohola.
Shohola. All right, we'll look it up. How about you, Michael?
I'm going to definitely go ahead and say, as I've shouted out a couple times already, Arrowhead Lake seems to be very short-term rental friendly. And my investors that I bring by there to check them out are always very happy to see the amount of amenities and the general feeling of just coming in and seeing that lake right away. It really creates an oasis away from the city or from wherever somebody might be visiting. It's a great spot.
How about your number two?
I would say number two would probably be one of the Camelback townhouses. Those have just gone crazy. They're on the market for maybe 2 days max, 3 days max if one of them shows up. So if one of them shows up and I send it to you, great short-term rental opportunity as well if you're ready to pay those condo fees.
That's awesome. Well, my top two are where I'm at. It's Talmenting Trails and Lake Harmony. Nice. I just like being close. I like it because they're close by, and so when I'm doing work on one of the houses, I can run over to the other house. I just find it's good, nice neighborhoods to be in. So, but man, this has been so great. And our next one, we definitely have to go into more details on your favorite neighborhoods and get a little bit more details on those. So, but if you guys are watching this video, Homeboys Hood, and you really enjoyed the content on Poconos short-term rental, George and Michael have given us some really good information, and we're going to have a part 2 here. But submit in the comments below any questions or anything you want to see in a future video. Until next time, don't forget to subscribe and like. This is your favorite homeboy signing out.